everything. Like a knife.
Y'all alive in Hangouts?
Like a knife.
Something like a knife.
16 seconds.
It cuts off better.
Negro mama.
Negro mama.
Negro Amara.
Say hi to everybody in Google Hangouts.
Hi, Google Hangout.
I have to put some lipstick on.
I'm just gonna look at how I'm looking.
And ain't nothing wrong with that. You always look
Hold on,
great.
black
Thank
woman.
You're so crazy. There's a black love line over
That's
here.
right. It's the black
The
woman.
Negro Amara.
I want some.
I'm gonna drink all of that.
And that's gonna be good with some chocolate too.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna go get that pair.
Same blue earrings, at least 2 pair. Attitude.
It's the teacher's class. Where's your glass?
You need a glass?
Well, I got a cover.
Thank you, darling.
Hey, welcome to Off the Vine with Benita and Teresina. This is Benita.
And this is
And
Teresina.
we have sometimes Brian in the
Sometimes
house.
Brian.
Today
In
is
the house.
our anniversary. Happy anniversary.
I'm birthday.
I need a glass.
So we got friends hanging out with us today. We got Aunt Jan.
Hey, Aunt Jan.
Happy anniversary. And we may have some other people flowing through. So we are streaming today. We want to say hi to our friends on Google Hangout and wherever else you may be watching the show. We appreciate those who are listening to the show. And we got cake and chips.
And chips.
I know Teresina's going to make some tomato pies. She
I'm taking my wine out of
I
here.
know, Brian got like,
Tomato pie and you didn't bring it.
Brian
I'm
got
gonna make it
like,
next week. I'm gonna make it
got
up
all
to
the wine in the world
I
right
mean,
here on the table. This man has worked hard this week and this is a short week.
y'all.
So, again, we want to thank the people who supported us over the last couple of years. Thanks to our fans, our listeners, those who download, those who are offended, we apologize. Those who are fans, tell your friends about us. We're gonna be back
Yeah,
for
we have
another
fun.
whole year.
We're gonna
It's
do it,
our
yeah.
fun.
We're gonna be here for another year.
Yeah, I should record like how much wine we drink.
You should do that. Maybe we should. No. Wait. I want to keep my job.
Yeah,
Right. Sometimes Brian does not want to do that.
Yeah.
This is good.
It
So,
is good.
just want to talk about the show. We started the show and, we wanted to be about wine and we did not want to have like one of those, and there's nothing wrong with it. A show that was pretentious and
Yes,
difficult for other people to understand. We want wine and love wine, so we try and deliver some wine knowledge to you in a way that we like you to see it with a lot of things. We remind you that you're welcome to come by and taste with us. So,
Right.
you don't choose to, but we're here. But it's the best way to experience wine, to taste wine. We try and explain some things to you as best we can. We don't know everything, but and I think we tell you, I don't know, but we try and come back with the answer when we don't know. So I think
no one has ever discovered this.
what's that?
Wine makes drunk.
Well, yeah.
That's it.
But cattle cooked potato chips, they go well with any kind of wine. Just saying.
I agree with
Try it.
that. I agree with that.
Thank you.
'Cause I indulge in food. I love the hot.
I
I
think
eat a lot
when you
of
got the
chips.
munchies, potato
Wrong.
chips go well with
Everything.
anything.
Peanuts go on. I don't, we talked about food and wine fair, and that's a unique one, kettle chip.
Now, wait a second.
Fun
Wait,
fact.
we have to have a proper wine pairing. What would you pair off with the kettle chips?
Anything on this table.
Okay.
Anything. It's
That's, I
delicious.
like that. I like that because that's my philosophy. You know what I always say? Drink whatever you like.
Mhm.
It goes well with anything.
Everything.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, so, you know, we do carry, but, you know, me, I carry wine with a glass.
I pair it with my stomach.
Mhm.
This is good that we're drinking right now.
Yeah, this is.
Negro Amaro from Puya. Come on, you ladies know about deals,
Right,
right?
right,
Of
right.
course, you know about him.
So
Yeah.
that's the heel of the boot in Italy.
Love it.
You tell, it's nice and
It's
jammy
it's
and
rich.
yes.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a kind of between a Zinfandel and a Malbec in some ways.
I love it.
Grapefruit
What's
forward.
it? What's it?
Negro Amaro.
That's a great.
That's the great.
That's a vineyard. I'm for a little bit more than that.
I do.
Don't worry. I'm gonna
We
go,
got plenty others to
Just a
pour.
little more.
So
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna,
go for the Zinclone mix.
all right, so
Well, wait a
what?
minute, you didn't tell me. Okay, that was
Oh, the
should have been a heads up.
Primitivo. All right, so, while they over there pouring and passing bottles and turning bottles, I'll tell you about, what we have coming up, with our events and such. Tonight, we have a canvas painting class, but it's sold out.
It's
See,
sold out.
That's the thing, y'all gotta be on ttswine.com early,
Early.
because the class is sold out. But there, tomorrow, we have the wine and sign with our good friend and last week's guest, Dr. Kat. So it's a perfect opportunity to come and meet her, get her book, she'll sign it for you. Meet Teresina and me if you haven't, it's delightful. Yes, we're gonna have wine.
Yes.
So it's from 2 to 4 shops at the Renaissance. So try and be here. It's free. I mean, you gotta buy the book, of course, but everything else is free. And tomorrow night, there is
Yes, you have a wine glass paint night tomorrow night. You, like maybe 3. So if it's 3 of y'all, come on.
you, your mama now.
Right, yeah, right, y'all. Come.
All right, and then Saturday, I have my burger and wine class. So burger and wine will be Saturday, June 11th at 11 o'clock. There's still some free seats left, so you can go on my website at www.thevinewineclub.com. If you put in the code burgers with an S, lowercase b, burgers with an S, you can, you may still be able to get one of those free seats, but if not, it's only $25 and it's fun, a great experience, and what else can you be doing at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning? But
Happy birthday to Rick DeBerry,
happy birthday, Rick DeBerry,
photographer.
photographer. I knew that. Right. Happy birthday! Cheers! We're gonna cheers. to
Cheers,
Rick
happy
DeBerry.
birthday, Rick.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Woo, do something fun. Drink
Uh-huh.
something good.
Hey, and don't let that lens be pointed at you.
Okay.
Birthday suits on the top of so. So anyway, the class next Saturday, 11 o'clock, June 11th, $25 if you don't come for free. But you can still come for free, so make sure you sign up for that.
All right,
Yay.
that's gonna be
It's
awesome.
gonna be fun. We have some good ones there with that.
All right.
We got great ones. Whatever they are, they're gonna be great.
She doesn't know what I'm bringing yet.
But whatever they are, they're gonna be great. All right, so what are we talking about today? This is gonna be like a classic anniversary show when we talk about nothing like we've been
I think
talking
that's a
about.
great idea. That's like,
It's a Seinfeld show.
It's a
A
Seinfeld
show about nothing.
And we just drink wine.
right.
All right,
Please
so,
tell them what we're drinking though.
but I do have to say, because you said, and this is like one of those wine facts that, unless you're in golf and really into wine, when you and Teresina were over there drinking out the bottle, you said the Zinfandel clone. And a lot of people don't know that Primitivo is
Well,
what you're
actually,
referring to.
Zinfandel is only Primitivo. But,
Okay.
but I
Alright.
mean, supposedly genetically the same. And they are actually believed to have come from somewhere in Slovakia or,
Slovakia.
yeah, Croatia.
Okay.
Originally,
Now, I like, everybody knows that I love Zinfandel. Thank you. And, this to me, when you compare Zinfandel and Primitivo, and we did that in the class, the side-by-side comparison, you do taste the similarities, but you certainly, distinguish the difference in style of wine. I like, when I say I like Zinfandel, I'm thinking of the California, very fruit forward, sometimes a little hot even. That's what I'm thinking of, and the ones that are really, in Italy, you don't do
Rustic.
that.
Right, right.
So you have the similarities, but very, very distinct in the way that they're made and how they present in the glass.
Are those Zinfandels the real red ones, the dark red ones that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
that Zinfandel has this terrible reputation because when California was just overrun by Zinfandel, a lot of the big, mass producers decided, well, we're going to make blush wine from it, and they started making what they call white
The white
Zinfandel,
one, right,
which is really a pink wine.
okay.
So when you mention Zinfandel, for people that don't really know wine, they're like, oh, you're talking about that sweet pink wine.
Right, right.
So it's gotten a bad rap, and now Zinfandel as the true red grape is coming back, a lot. There's a big cult following for Zinfandel.
It threw me off too when I saw a bottle in the red. And that was really bad. It was maybe 4 years ago. So I bought it, and I liked it right away because the pink one, like you said, is sweet. Right, and I'm not totally sweet.
Yeah.
But I was surprised. And I feel like that's the first thing I said to myself, well, why do they call this white Zinfandel? And it's pink, blushy. But now I can see it, they lightened up the rich grape and made it a little lighter.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's true. I'm the same as you. My first introduction to wine once I left New was like Zinfandel. So, to find out that Zinfandel, the one that I love is truly the red, which is in intact, that it's like, oh, this is the same grape, So just understanding the backstory and understanding how wine is made. And that could be, one of the first, maybe that was one of the first things that made me fall in love with wine. We got company, y'all. Come on. We got Lester and everything. No. We got Miss Rita from Spirit Journeys Radio in the house. Congratulations to y'all. We got this is exciting. We got wine. Do you?
And potato chips. We got potato chips.
Yeah,
Potato chips.
and cake.
We're really celebrating tonight.
I'm gonna have plates and a knife as soon as we have a commercial.
Okay, and we're just not counting calories.
Wow.
No.
Everybody stir.
I'm still on vacation.
Who has that? I'm sorry for anybody that's not here today.
Why would
Yeah.
you be?
I don't know. So let me ask a question since I talked about why I like wine and kind of what was the first intro into wine, curiosity of the mystique of the white Zinfandel to red Zinfandel. What was your first? What made you really want to do this wine thing and just be a wino for a living?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Wait, no. We are called professional drinkers. We are
That's whatever your cause, a lot to put on a name
Yeah,
tag.
That's my next t-shirt.
It's right over the door. It says professional drinker.
You're going to be surprised at my answer. Because I think yeah. Well, you might not be, because I think you heard this story. But my introduction was, I was like struggling managing with Imani as an infant, and I was like stressed out all the time. And so I went to my doctor trying to get something. And he said, no, I'm not going to prescribe you any medication. I want you to try a glass of wine at the end of the day.
Who's that
doctor. Doctor.
Hey, Ricky.
Dr. Ricky.
Or boo-boo.
Ricky told you.
So he said, try a glass of wine. So I went to this grocery store, not knowing anything, went to the grocery store, picked up this big 1.5 bottle of Yellowtail Shiraz.
you did not
Yes,
say
I did.
Yellowtail.
Yes, I did.
They want to
I'm
blame
gonna
the
tell you.
baby.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't have any more problems. I'm sorry, I was cool at the end of the day. And I love to this day, don't judge me, don't judge me. I love to this day Yellowtail Shiraz. I don't care,
Okay,
I don't care.
I started with Yellowtail Shiraz. I loved it. I did. I don't, not to this day, but
But I
I
love it,
did enjoy it.
right?
Yeah, I started at
Goes
Shiraz. I
down
started at
fancy.
Shiraz.
Yes.
Never tried it.
That's
I don't
what it
know.
is.
To me, the experience of tasting Yellowtail once was like the experience of tasting Red Bull.
But
And I'm like, I never ever want to drink it again.
I've had the Chardonnay.
but this is, I think I can have an answer to his question because although I hate to admit it, I used to like Yellowtail Shiraz. That was my first Shiraz. So when I tasted other Shiraz,
Right,
I'm like,
right, right.
"Ew, I'm
Yeah,
never coming
right.
back." And
I
so
agree.
Brian probably had already been exposed to some quality
Right.
stuff.
When
He
you
didn't go
tasted
from
that.
reuniting to Yellowtail,
Right.
you know.
Wait. Okay, all right. You want to know where I started with wine as a
The
child?
big Gavin Chevrolet.
With the little arm feet.
No, it was Manischewitz
Shevitz.
kosher wine, and it was so sweet. And
Oh, yeah.
it's another one of those things. God, how could I ever sit with my family and drink that stuff again?
Mm.
You know, when I started out with wines, I'm gonna say the same thing. The Manischewitz Cream of Concord.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
So creamy grape.
Cream of
Cream of
Concord.
Concord.
That's why we went down.
Cream of Concord. That's what I started.
You had a
out
sugar
with.
high.
Yes.
Oh, my
Now people have
God.
diabetes right now because of that. I suspect.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds incredibly
But
sweet.
it was. It
Grape
was.
sickle.
Yeah.
You creamsicle. I bet you can freeze that.
Mhm.
You probably freeze it,
Yeah.
stick it in it.
From there, then I went out to the Jagabazi, you know, I went up that road, a couple of the reunions before I got to the different Chablis I started experimenting.
Mhm.
And I've been on the dry road ever since.
Okay.
Different versions of
Okay.
stuff. But yeah, Cream of White Concord was our little drink back in the
That's a
day.
creamsicle. There's ain't no but
You know, I
creamsicle.
I don't know at what point I got seriously into wine. Because I think it was probably when I started experimenting with cooking. And I was old enough to drink. You know, you have a palate for cooking, you have a palate for wine. And I just got to know the right people and like, you gotta try this, you gotta try this, you gotta try this. So I wasn't gravitating toward, you know, the stuff on the grocery shelf rather than I was gravitating toward things that my friends were telling me to drink that were in wine shops.
Okay.
So, you know, it's just all of a sudden you develop, well, you can't, it's like music or it's like being an artist. You don't develop your talent. You develop your skills. It's the same thing with wine. You don't develop a palate, you develop your knowledge,
That's true.
which then helps you understand what your palate is saying to you.
And how to listen to your palate.
Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
It's
certainly-
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
certainly
that's good.
about just getting that understanding, because the understanding helps you appreciate it. You know, even if I don't love it,
Right.
you know, I can appreciate it and I can understand or know what I want to have this with, or you know, in
Yeah,
what occasion this would work.
Yeah.
Like there's certain wines that I wouldn't, you know, if wine is for dinner, I would just wine. I wouldn't choose, but if I'm having, you know, something and I want to,
That's
you know,
what I was just
yeah.
getting ready to ask. Where does that, this wine goes good with this come from? You know, what makes the difference between having this white wine and a red wine with a dish? Or is it
We
just
all
red
speak
with
to that.
just-
I think, like, what I would say is, you know, it's certainly what all of us would agree with. It's certainly about preference. But some of us like the similar styles of the wine that match the food. Some of us like the contrast.
Right.
Like the
You know,
red
like-
with the beef.
Your girl, I'm pulling you in right now.
Yeah,
White
because
with
like,
fish.
yeah, but like even say, like you might have something like spicy, like, and you would do maybe a Riesling or a Gewurz because it's the sweetness is a contrast with that spice, so it's gonna kind of have this perception of putting the heat out, you know. So kind of like that. I mean, sometimes so if you have something spicy and then you have something hot, like a hot Zinfandel, like the ones that I have when I'm just drinking them, or with a burger or something. If I have something spicy, that's like a whole firecracker. That's like a fireworks show in my mouth, you know. So a lot is going on, so I'm not able to taste it. I'm not appreciating the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and like I said before, it's about your own comfort zone, but you know, when you think about pairing food and wine, like Anita said, this, you know, you can go in opposite directions. I prefer that method of starting from opposite ends and having the food and the wine meet, and then they actually kind of cross each other, and the wine serves as a palate cleanser for the next bite of food. Now, you know, you can go way outside the box with your thinking. Like just for example, this week I was planning a menu for a wine dinner. And we sat down with GM, takes it through a lot of wine, and they loved this rosé. And like, what do we do with the rosé? And we hadn't decided on the main course. So I said, okay, here's something crazy. I said, rosé, you know, needs fat. So we started talking about pork belly, and then she said, well, the chefs don't like pork, you know, like to cook pork belly. I don't think they've ever done it. And then I offered to go in the kitchen and do it myself. But she said, no, the kitchen's kind of small. So we came up with doing a pancetta or a bacon wrapped salmon. Salmon's
Oh,
got
wow.
fat.
That
The-
sounds
Really?
The
wonderful.
pork, you know, the bacon or the pancetta's got fat. The rosé needed fat. You know, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a main course with the rosé. Everybody's thinking the main course is gonna be some kind of meat, and it's gonna have a red wine. And here we're starting out with the appetizer with one red wine, and then
I
we're
love
going and finishing with the rosé.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
And another thing you have to consider is the body of the wine. Like if you're gonna have beef, you have to look at the weight of the beef in your mouth, and then what's gonna complement that. It's gonna have to be a heavier red. Like let's say you did the beef and you had a Pinot Grigio. It's like the Pinot Grigio just disappears. It does nothing for the beef does nothing for the wine. So just consider the body also.
So before we take a commercial break, I gotta greet the queen. Butterfly Queen has come into the house. So thanks for coming.
Hello,
Sorry I'm
welcome.
late, but I see the party still
We
going.
are
It's
waiting
not-
for
I
you.
haven't even gotten a knife in the place for cake. So I'm like, so we're gonna take a commercial break, a kind of quick one, but not so quick just in case I got to run out to the car and get some plates. But we'll be right back after the commercial break.
Napkins and hands work.
Yeah. Just bring some forks.
Oh, shit, there you go. No,
Thank you.
This dinner is way off the chain.
Dark heavy and dark.
Well, but
Yeah.
it's not heavy. I'm doing a really
seen it.
And we're back with Off the Line with Benita and Teresina and sometimes Brian. And today we have a house full of friends.
Yeah.
Because do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. That's right. You know, I think we did an anniversary show last month. It
We
was our
did.
anniversary.
Yeah.
And next week is our very good friend, Joan Henry Show. It's her anniversary next Saturday.
All right.
So congratulations
We
to
are
Miss
rolling.
My
Joan.
anniversary next Friday.
Is your,
Oh.
and you're gonna work on Saturday. You're gonna come with me.
Oh, wow.
I'll have my agent call your agent.
Okay, that'll work. All right, so what is this that I just poured in my glass?
Oh, that's Zweigelt from Carnuntum in Austria.
I like the
And this is the bigger, the bigger style Zweigelt. So a little heavier, more Zin-like.
You smell it.
Yeah,
That,
white pepper
even
jam.
before you put it in your mouth, it's a good thing. And that's one of the things about wine. You taste it, like food, I guess, but with wine, you can taste it by looking at it, the color, and certainly the age. You kind of already know that, this is a lot bigger than this like that. I have that one sitting on top of the cooler that I had last night. That I'll finish later.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
So, all right, so all of our guests, anybody have like a favorite wine or favorite wine region? What's your favorite? I like California.
Okay, I don't don't know what that says about me, but I do love the greens. I just love the greens. Well, I think what it says about
What does it say about you?
You're awesome.
I am your wine. I am your wine guy. And I know stuff. That's gonna be my favorite.
I sure wish the audience could see you right now.
You were
Yes,
right there.
and-
Oh,
This is awesome.
so what it says about you, you like red blends from California, which tend to be very fruit forward. No tannins. So what it means is that you clean.
Crazy is always
Certified
That's
fruit
true.
at this point.
That's right.
Certified.
That's right.
Certified. I got it.
As spoken by Dr. Benita.
Yes.
That's right. Who else wants their portion red fruit?
Wait, we're gonna have to add you to the commercials. Dr. Benita, the
I'll be on
soothsayer.
light. I'll be on late at night. I was like, I can read the wine glass.
And people will pay.
Mhm. $49.95.
Ooh, I love it.
Mhm. All right, what's your favorite? Jan?
My favorite wine?
What's your go-to? Well, we know ours.
I like Merlots.
Mm.
That's my daily thing.
That's your thing.
Every evening. How about 2 o'clock?
Is that what you mean by eating?
I figure if you wake up
It
at 5,
starts at 2 in the afternoon
Yeah.
and goes to 2 in the morning.
but I wake up at 5, so by 2,
Yeah,
well, I'm not up until, I'm up at 6. to feed
Okay,
the cats.
okay.
Then I go back to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but, I get up about 10.
Uh-huh.
So my first glass of wine in a day is about 3.
Okay.
And I like Merlots. I do, the whites that I really do like, I like Pinots also. The Noir and the Grigio.
Okay.
I like them both. But if my go-to everyday thing is some type of Merlot. I didn't acquire a taste for Grigio recently, and I'm liking it.
Oh,
I like the pear, it tastes the fruitiness of it, is what I like. And it reminds me of pear. Every time I taste it, I don't know if that's what it is or not, but it reminds me of a pear.
All right, that sounds a little bit more like a domestic kind of retail.
California.
Yeah. Because, it's interesting when you say I like Merlot, and I was on the same side of the fence as Benita for a while, doing the brick and mortar thing. And you get customers come in and say, I like Merlot, and you hand them Merlot, and it winds up being, European Merlot, and you come back like, this is not Merlot. I'm like, so what kind of Merlot do you like? And then they just, tell me what it is, and they're like, okay, you want something new world, it's fruit forward.
I like all the Merlots I've tried. And I do try to, where I find, since I've been in Virginia anyway, I've been here 5 years now. When I go into Kroger, they have a mix of stuff, and I try to pick something different every time. And I liked quite a few of the Merlots that I found,
Well,
without really knowing.
Kroger's got a little bit better program because they have actual flyers on the floor that help the customer. And so there's a little bit more diversity. And I think from store to store, you'll find, a slightly different selection based on on the in-store.
I think that's true
Wine
too,
buyer.
because I've noticed the different ones, the different stores I've been in, their variety is either bigger or not as big as, when it comes to the mixed and imported type stuff.
When you go to a grocery store like Food Lion or a Martin's or any of the others, they have basically what we call in the industry a planogram. So someone makes up a wine list,
Everybody buys it.
and it's usually the three big distributors that are nationwide, and they come in and they put the wine up on the shelf, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're gonna find your all your usual suspects in a place like that. But then Kroger's, they have a little bit more diversity, and they've got people on the floor to help you, and so they have an interesting
Well,
selection.
Kroger owes me a check because a lot of times I'm there and there's no one person and I help people. I spend a lot of time in Kroger. I go there
Every day.
Sometimes the one ups in price and sometimes the one I hit, but I'm in one every day. And I know the people who work at both of them. And a lot of times I'm in the wine section and I notice people who look lost, and because I like to meet people, I talk, can I help you? And I help them.
I've even called you from a Kroger,
Yes.
and she said,
Well, I work in the industry, so I don't even go out and buy wine anymore.
Makes sense. But if you were out and
If I
you
were
just
out,
want to stop and get something, or say spurting away on your way to
I
someone's
don't
house. and
see.
you
I don't know.
really-
I don't even know if it's appropriate to plug a specific store.
Well, you
like
can
that.
just still say the wine. Well, I don't plug even a brand of wine. I tend to, I could answer that question in that when I'm out, I tend to buy Zinfandel. Like if I'm just at the
I think she
store.
was asking more where I like to buy my
Oh, okay.
wine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, I will make it a little bit more generic. I but you can do that. This is your show.
You can say it too. You can say it.
I didn't say that. The Fine Wine Club.
Good answer,
But-
good answer.
But what I like to do is I like to support the local economy, and I like to go to a wine shop, someone that actually has wine knowledge and can help me. If I have a question, they should be able to help me. Now Benita's got an online shop, but still she's there to answer questions. Through email. But the small merchant, the family-owned and operated business is where I would prefer to buy wine.
More intimate.
Yeah, and I love just supporting small
I
businesses in general.
Me too.
I'm gonna get messy. I want you to read her. Now, she said she liked that type of wine.
Oh, she like Merlot.
I want to know about Merlot.
Okay, so Merlots are sometimes a little hot, sometimes a little smoky. Aunt Janice, she comes out at night. And we got another show on Maybe Help You called the Butterfly Queen After Dark. It will air this Monday at 9 o'clock. Jan, make sure you call in.
Yeah.
652-2512.
Talk to me, baby.
Yeah, I think I'll bring a bottle of my love.
That's right. All right, so what's your go-to queen?
You know, I am still a novice, and everything I've learned through you and the Vine Wine Club.
Me?
I started off as a sweet, like in sweet wine, but I've learned that I kind of like the more drier wine.
And look at her folks. She got like a big red in her.
I'm doing the red. And I was afraid of red. I was always afraid of red. I did, the sweet, what is the sweet one?
Like Moscatos and such.
Yeah, very fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, not even good, right?
No.
You went to Concord Cream.
I did do this for rest. Now I'm finding that I like the reds, apple red.
Oh, right. I like that too.
I'm enjoying that, and because I brought it to your house one time, and I said, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, and I felt like,
Yeah, drinking. I remember we had the spicy buffalo chicken dip.
yes, we
We were
did.
having girl talk.
It was perfect. I don't know if it was the talk, the wine, or
That's fair.
Oh,
You can
no,
do that.
Yeah.
so that I think that's one of my favorites now.
Sarah keep promising she won't take them home.
What?
We got like an empty wine bottle graveyard.
Oh, my God. Take 'em home. I'm gonna take 'em today.
Keep promising.
So that's my favorite.
Okay. So you like the red
I like
blends
that,
too?
yeah.
So you sound like Rita.
Mhm.
I gotta, we nuts. But Dr. Cat will be here tomorrow. She's gonna bring her sofa. Y'all can come and lay on it.
I know my issues. She did that too much work.
I'm great. You got more milk. You got more wine.
Yeah, I just want to be happy in my face. So hey,
That's
love
right.
me
Just
as I am.
accept it.
Exactly.
Just accept it. Well, cool. Well, I know Teresina go to Barial.
Yeah, I got two.
She's at the store. You got two.
I know you will say Sauvignon Blanc
Yeah.
or white. Yes. But if I'm like,
California Sauvignon Blanc.
yeah, but the thing about the Sauvignon Blanc is like when I drink Sauvignon Blanc, I want to eat it.
Okay.
You know, but like you were saying about the reds, I'm like a Zinfandel, a red blend with Zinfandel, like bootstrap red.
Mhm.
It's to die for. It's just got enough Zinfandel and it's got like 85% Zinfandel, 15%.
I guess there is 85%. Ain't that right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Darn near the whole
But it's
thing.
got Petit Syrah. It's the rest of it. It's the other 15%.
Oh, so that's like,
That's just a nice,
Yeah,
beautiful
I gotta
blend.
try
It's like
that.
a perfect blend.
but I have a
Bootstrap
really
red.
interesting,
California from Lodi.
I have an interesting Merlot, and I don't know if you tasted it, the Verdell Merlot, because it's, and I say it's interesting because it's a little different from the traditional Merlot, and probably because it's from Long Island, which is a cooler growing space in California, cooler growing climate than California. So the wine isn't hot. It's very, it's compared to some of the Merlots that we drink traditionally, it's very soft. Kind of understated, and it's funny. I've given it to people who say, "I hate Merlot." I don't even know. They don't think it's a Merlot. And then some people who say, "Oh, they love Merlot." So I have to make sure you have some of that. Because people who say they love Merlot is different, but they still love it. You know?
Right.
You know, it's
Never tried.
interesting when you said, I hate, all right, let's put Merlot in there, but I remember when I was in retail and I would have customers come in, and these were customers that actually had a little bit of a discerning palate. And I said, what do you like? And she's and they're like, or I would be pouring a Chardonnay. I hate Chardonnay. What don't you like about Chardonnay? Oh, I'm not, no, the question would be, so what kind of Chardonnays have you had? And they would say, well, they're all oaky and they're all buttery. And I'm like, okay, so you don't like New World Chardonnay. Well, why don't you taste this one? Because it's Old World, there's no oak at all in this, and there's very little malolactic fermentation, and they love it. So again, you can't stereotype a grape.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's one
Because it's a about style. It's about how it's made. I think on one of the classes I did, I compared styles of Chardonnay. And there, as you mentioned, there were people like, oh, I don't like Chardonnay. I was one of those people because my first Chardonnay was like a Kendall Jackson, which was, oh, sorry to offend. But it was just, I mean, people love it. So, I mean, for me to say I don't like it, it means nothing. Because they sell tons of it. But if you like that particular style that's very buttery, you know, it tastes like toast bread, your style. But what was my transition to Chardonnay? I tasted a white Burgundy, not even knowing, you know, in my infancy in the wine industry at the time. You know, just learning that all these different things that I had heard of, like a white Burgundy. Well, first of all, a white Burgundy was like an oxymoron because Burgundy is the color red. So white is color. Exactly. So a white Burgundy, like, crazy. So I didn't know that Burgundy at the time. This is when I'm learning that Burgundy is a space. It's a location. And if the wine is white, you know, and it has Burgundy and it is Chardonnay. And so the way that it's made there is in almost total contrast in what I had from my California, you know, where Napa is like supposedly the king or queen of Chardonnay, right. You know, and that's what I had. Because, you know, of course, if I'm gonna drink Chardonnay, I gotta have it from the best place. I gotta have Napa. So I just didn't like the style that they were making it in. And so even going further in my Chardonnay exploration, you know, I figured, okay, I tend to like the Chardonnays. I prefer the Chardonnays that are fermented in steel versus they're crisp, you know, just softer to drink. You know, it's almost like, okay, do I want this this Pepsi or do I want the hot chocolate? You know, do I want something kind of warm and smooth going down, or do I want this energy? So I tend to like the ones. So, you know, it does take a little bit of work to understand the region where it's grown. And, you know, when you understand the region, you can kind of make some determinations on how they.
Well, I'd like you to introduce me to one of them Chardonnays.
I
am not that big of a Chardonnay person to this date, but then I haven't tried that many because the ones I've had.
Because you stay away from them.
You know, so I don't even try it. Before I do a Chardonnay, well, I started out with Chablis. That was the first wine that I really, really started drinking. Different little versions, you know, Suave, Bola, this one, you know, all over the place.
If it was Chablis from California, it probably wasn't even Chardonnay. They adopted the word Chablis, you know, as a style. You know, because when you went to the museum for the art opening, they either had Chablis or Merlot, you know, for the, you know, for party wine, and people would just all of a sudden start going to bars and ordering Chablis. But they don't know that it's actually a serious part of the Burgundy region in France, where they make very, very dry Chardonnays.
And that's the type of Chardonnay I have been drinking. The real dry, tart.
So then you want to try her on something from Sonoma, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of Nell, a little bit of Oak, Central Coast, yeah.
So I'm going to be a night class.
See, that's the best way, and this is what we do from
Another crazy person. Another crazy person.
Gwen Hurt.
Thank you. So Gwen Hurt is in the house, so thank you for coming. Look at her. She's like, so cute. Yeah. Look at sign my name to it, didn't you?
Woo!
Get in the camera. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Billboards.
2016.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna do a commercial break, and when we come back, our folks go, thank you, Rita. We come back, we gonna eat cake.
We're good.
It's nice
And I
to
brought my
see you
favorite
again.
poster, bigger pictures.
Oh my God.
Which is like my.
There you go, you got
That's
something
your
on.
weakness. Yep.
And we're back. We're off the bottom and we didn't Terracina. If you're looking at my
Hear that?
backside,
Hear that?
sorry. We are cutting cake. And it ain't much to look at no way, so. All right.
Speak
so-
louder.
All right, so we have chocolate cake with Bavarian cream in the inside.
Oh, wow.
I made it
Oh, yeah, it looks like something.
to the
that you
store to
would
pick it up.
You made the store put
I
some
made it to
leather.
the store to pick it up.
Wow, that's like.
You made it.
Oh,
I'm
this
coming.
is me? This is me?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
man,
just
okay.
go for it.
All right.
I need to keep melting.
I know, right? I'm trying to melt
Queen, you
too.
say you're not having it?
That's the one that didn't make this.
Alright. Alright, so we gotta have some of this. Can somebody pour some of the Negro mama?
That's
The
ridiculous.
Negro mama in my.
Yeah.
No,
So you see, I came out here with my cake.
Either that or
a shot.
some for sure.
She's still cut.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so
Did I
good.
miss
Isn't that
cake?
good?
Somebody?
This is mine.
My favorite.
I love
Am I sitting on the ground? Why
Hey,
not?
Oh, okay. And that's a good choice. So how do we describe to the listeners
Oh,
what
I'm
this
sorry.
is?
Mm.
It's just, listen, we all got quiet. It's just.
That's how we know we don't need it.
The
This is
airspace
like
is not
light.
good.
Ah,
The grapefruit
somebody tell a joke.
is like a nice twang on it.
Mhm.
You can taste it, but it's not overwhelming like grapefruit is. I think it's light and. So thank you, Aunt Janice, but I was talking about the cake.
You're exactly right.
You're exactly
right.
There it goes well with this chocolate cake.
Okay, well, we gotta, what wine is that? That's the She
This
Crazy
is
Sauvignon
Bordeaux.
Blanc, right?
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
When-
calling me out on Facebook.
And,
Ah, we
After
can
I
say
had
it
planned to
later.
be here anyway.
I
I was talking to Terracina. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are you guys taping live today? Because I'm gonna drop by.
Yeah, she's like, don't tell me that. I'm like, I want to surprise her. But I was like, okay.
So we just need to know where is Michael Sparks, because he's the one person that I called out and he ain't here.
I know. He told me I wasn't going to tell you about that, but he did tell me he was
He
coming
probably
today.
has food.
Right? He probably bring something.
Eating the food.
You
that's
know,
fine.
he's probably going to come like at
To make a
3:59.
lot of noise.
Right.
Now, I find it interesting though that you like the French Sauvignon Blanc, which kind of goes against the grain a little bit of what you described before.
With the Chardonnay, you know.
Because here you're gonna have a lot more
For some
acidity,
yeah.
tartness,
Sharpness,
not
This
that
is
bracy
right.
acidity as a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
but it's designed to taste like a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc with a French grape. That's how I designed it.
I love it.
Yeah, and most
Well,
French
this
grapes
doesn't
are more
taste-
floral. And this has the more citrus notes, which is more of the Marlborough New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
Is this along the lines of the Chardonnay that you mentioned to her that I should be trying?
Well, I need to taste it.
Well,
But
that's
this
what I
is-
said.
this is
This Chardonnay
Chardonnay.
remind me of a
This
Chardonnay.
is
party.
it's not Chardonnay. This is
No, it's not.
Sauvignon Blanc. This is Sauvignon
Yeah.
Blanc. Yeah, totally different.
No, but he's comparing what she said about the Chardonnay
Yeah, I was
to
talking
Oh,
about
okay.
that.
goodness and the citrus notes on the.
What we got
Okay, so-
before was it sounded like she really liked something that was a little bit more New World. And,
See,
you
but
know,
this is designed to taste like New World.
Not
That's
anywhere.
in
but
Europe.
not-
This is designed to
Okay.
taste like New World. And they
Well,
didn't
I
make it
didn't
sell.
even know New World the term, other than it being said what actually meant, because I just knew Chardonnay to be thick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It has a, they call it butter, a buttery note,
That's how
but
she
to
was
me, it's
describing it.
very intense, especially
Yeah.
if it's very oaky. I don't like the very oaky ones.
Well, maybe that's the difference
It's
in the
just a
ones
fight
that I've
with you.
had. Maybe
And
they-
that's
the
why you don't
oakiness.
like the Chardonnays, I think, that you mentioned.
Because of the oak.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
And
oak-
so you get like this cleanliness with this Sauv Blanc.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I like-
it's like crisp.
Yeah.
Right.
well,
Yeah,
to me,
crispness.
just from my experiences of white Bordeaux, is classic white Bordeaux. It's kind of stuck in the middle
So good.
of being, you know, New Zealand on the bracy side with the grapefruit, and then being really the very rank Loire Sauvignon Blanc.
It is, and it's a grand vin. And a lot of people don't know that because of, you know, the branding is New World branding with Old World quality. And it's
I
kind of
love
how
that.
it's designed. But a lot of people don't know it's grand vin. and
I'm
it's-
confused. When you guys say New World branding against Old World branding, what do you mean by New World?
New World is your trendier brands. You've got people dancing, you've got shoes, you've got, you
That's
know,
what pertains to
Yeah.
branding, but like you say, old world and new world is anything that's not in Europe.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Those are further than
Okay.
branding.
Yeah.
The old world would be Europe. The winemaking philosophy is much different. They pray for rain at the right times of the year so that they don't have overripe grapes.
Right.
The New World style actually came out of the fact that in California, they were harvesting grapes that were really ripe. Now, how do you make a dry wine from really ripe grapes? You just have to over ferment it to get it to the point of being really, really dry. But then you have high alcohol, so it brought out more sugars in the wine.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden you got this New World style. Then they're going ahead and saying, well, these wines will take a lot of oak.
Okay.
You know, whereas in Europe, they use oak more to preserve wine rather than to flavor the wine. So in the New World, you have oaky, buttery wines because they use a lot of oak. They use a lot of malolactic fermentation, which kind of changes that hard malic acid into lactic acid and
So
makes them buttery.
back to the Chardonnay. If I didn't want the oakiness, then I would want an Old World
You'd want
Chardonnay.
something that was either old world from Europe or made in the old world style.
Just aged in stainless steel.
yeah.
That well.
And what
How
I
about
did,
that answer?
what
I know, right?
aged in
So you
now
go
I
to the
gotta
store,
go
I'm
and
looking
ask
for
them.
aged
Yes.
and stainless
Well,
steel.
yeah.
But that's why they
That's
should have the people in the stores
That's right.
working, so you can
That's
ask
right,
that question and they know which ones. That's right.
Yeah.
And I won't just have to buy wine because they was free.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's- y'all just get
Which I've been known to do.
I've
I've done that, and I tasted a lot of ugly,
Ugly, yeah.
beautiful label.
you can still wind up with the raw wine because I actually did, when I was in retail, we had a wine club in the shop that I was at, and every month I did a different theme. One month I did 6 Chardonnays. I made them drink Chardonnay. 6 different wines. 3 of them were not oak, 3 of them were oak. 3 of them had mallow, 3 of them didn't have mallow. But some of the ones that had mallow were also not oak. And, you know, and so you wind up with having, you know, they were separated by oak versus stainless steel, but some of them had mallow on both sides. Now, you can still wind up with a wine that's in stainless steel that's very buttery, and it might be the butteriness that you don't like. So if you go to what we talked about before, you go to a family-owned small business, or you go to you go to Benita's website, or you call up Benita and you say, I want an old world style Chardonnay. She's going to give you an old world style Chardonnay because she knows what that is.
Right.
Whether it was made in the new world or in the old world.
Yeah.
So I actually think it's better if you're going to the right people and asking for them for advice. It's better to say, I want something either new world or old world.
So they know.
Because you could just wind up with something that you don't like either way.
I think you should ask them first. Do you know the difference between old world and new world?
Well, that's the first
I
one.
think I should say,
And
I
just-
just
right,
already said, I should just call
Yeah,
Benita and
because
say,
I mean, you
Benita, I
know.
want this.
Yeah, that's somebody.
Because
who's
I
like-
know
Everybody
stuff.
knows what I have
Whatever.
most of the time.
And then she picks up the phone and calls Teresina and
I'll have all of them in my choice. Everybody knows.
No, you call me and I order it from them. These
Yeah.
are my distributors.
Oh,
So,
Right.
that's right.
And
So
I know I'll get something great.
you're gonna get it.
Okay, that is funny.
So I'm working it.
But the other thing you can ask for is lightly oaked. So if they're not
Right.
available, you can say lightly oaked. Because I have a Chardonnay that I left for the oak for 2 months. And so it has a light,
Oh, just a little.
just
That's
a
very
little,
short period of time.
and,
Just to round it a little bit.
just a little bit. And that's a really good seller because of it. Because there are, people like myself that don't like that overly oaky butteriness, on the wine.
And was it new or was it used?
Hmm?
Was it new oak or used?
It
oak?
was used though.
Okay, so yeah, you're barely getting any.
Yeah, you barely get anything. It's just a little lightness. I think you had the Chardonnay. haven't you?
Yeah, I should. I enjoy that.
Mhm. It's very easy drinking.
I mean, this is so exciting, to me, but now you all have the wine classes.
Yes.
And this is where you can really learn. So I won't have to just buy because there's a butterfly on the label, or sugarholic, or because it has purple.
Because I think it's sweet or something.
Yeah, because I think it's.
Well, I think you should buy it if it just has a shoe on.
Right.
And the butterfly,
It's gotta be good if it has a
Well, you
shoe
see,
on.
And
But
the
it's all for the shoe.
here's an old world wine with a new world label.
That's exactly, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Old world, new, old
I
world.
love
You
it.
get some branding.
Right.
Yeah, the wine
Favorite
classes
software.
definitely teach you that. And so thank you for this lead-in, because the next wine class is June 11th.
I will be
And
there.
we're doing burgers.
too.
Yes, we're doing burgers and wine. You can go to the website, www.thewineclub.com. There's still some space for you to get a free class if you put in the code BURGERS, lowercase b, burgers is plural, S. It's gonna be beef, turkey, and bacon, so no
Nice.
excuse. If you don't like, if you're gluten-free, just don't eat the bread, that's it.
Right, take it off the bone.
I'm free, I just eat the buns.
Yeah, right.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, so you can be
I
all.
was
Even if
supposed
you
to
make
be
one
birthday.
tonight, but you know what, chocolate cake?
Yeah, so you can have that, I'm gonna do beans, so it's gonna be cool.
I've
So
had in a long time.
So I
it's
want to
delicious.
thank our guests for coming. I want to thank all of you for being here.
No, is it over?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
we got the after party
I
because
miss-
we gotta finish
Right.
this wine.
Right.
So you don't have to leave, but our producer is looking at me
No.
like that, like get off
So I missed
that
the
one.
questions of the day. I missed all that.
We didn't even do that today, so you didn't miss it.
Okay,
So we'll
so
be
next
back
time.
next week with the taboo topic. Taboo
Tuesday
something.
hangover,
Yeah.
damn.
We'll be back with that next week, and we'll be back with the lineup. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next week, because next Saturday is National Rose Day. So next Friday, we're gonna have
Rose!
Miss Rose season. So we'll see you next Friday on Off the Line with Benita and Tessa.
Yay.
Yay.
Happy
I'll send you some rosé costumes for you.
Okay.
I got some rosé too we can share. That was very good.
I've been seeing the really cute rose commercials.
Yes, we have a